Was 5,600 the top, or is this party only just getting started for Bitcoin? What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Crypto Kirby here, your cryptocurrency expert, back with another edition of the daily live stream. What is going on, my friends? Today I'd like to discuss Bitcoin and the topic of, has this trend finally ran out of gas? Is what we're looking at here a potential top for Bitcoin? Or is this just looking like the preliminary action before a further impulse wave to the upside, truly beginning the start of the bull market? So as a full-time trader, I'd like to discuss with you my strategy, my game plan, and how I plan to crush this market right now in the immediate term. So without any further ado, you guys already know the deal. If you like these daily crypto videos and nightly live streams, smack that thumbs up button, click the subscribe, tick the little bell, and let's get this crypto. Moon the likes, ladies and gentlemen. Moon them up. All right, so we'll begin with our Bitcoin technical analysis. And of course, before we begin, this is not investment advice, this is not trading advice, these are only my own opinions, ideas, and observations on the market. Always do your own research and your own due diligence before investing or trading, as this market is extremely high risk, and I am not your financial advisor. I will never tell you what to do with your trades or investments. Being said, let's begin right here on the 4-hour time frame. We can clearly see, ladies and gentlemen, that Bitcoin, ever since our large, massive $1,000 candle to the upside to rip through our resistance level of our prior highs, we've now been on a steady incline over the past several weeks. We've now even tested above our old high, and we are flush into our resistance channel. The question now becomes, though, for me at least, the question now becomes, is this level truly going to be the top here for Bitcoin? Is that resistance enough there? Is that going to be the end-all be-all for this run? Or are we potentially going to look for one last leg before we truly begin to get into the meat and potatoes of our critical resistance level up here, ranging from between 5,900 all the way up, really for me, ladies and gentlemen, about 6,200, but depending on how you want to chart it, we could even see this thing get up to 6,400, 6,700, even 7,000. We're going to look into this. It really depends on how you want to chart this and how you want to evaluate the scenario. So for me right now, ladies and gentlemen, what I'm seeing here on the 4-hour time frame is that we had an epic climb up to 5,600, right? Really taking out these 3 prior highs. If Bitcoin was going to get rejected, it theoretically would have been right here when we retested our 2 prior highs and this resistance trend line, with the RSI being very overbought at that time. If we actually pull it up here, we were already in the overbought territory, yet we continued to surge higher. If there was a time for it to dump, in my opinion, it would have happened already. So now let's discuss, since we've now pulled back pretty significantly from the top of the trend. At the time of recording, we've actually pulled back to almost 5% from the previous high. So where we are right now is a spot that's totally critical. This spot is very important, and the reason why is because this whole area that we've now outlined as the old resistance is being back tested and looking to become a new support. If Bitcoin actually has pulled back as far as we have and holds this area here, this to me, my friends, would be a bullish sign, as we would tentatively be looking to consolidate in here and break through our old high here at about 5,600. And if that is in fact the case, for me on a personal level, I'm seeing my targets anywhere from between 5,700 all the way up into the $6,000 region, purely because if this level is taken out here, I don't see any prior price action in the immediate history here to suggest that we'd need to stop or stall out anywhere besides up in this vicinity here, which you guys can see is outlined in my green range here, as this for me is a profit-taking range for longs. Of course, once again, that is not investment advice or trading advice. That is only my own opinion and observation. For me right now, I need to show you guys some metrics here that really will get the meat and potatoes of what we're looking at here. So on the RSI for the 1 day, this is the metric of an asset being overbought or oversold. We are still maintaining our higher low trajectory, right? We have not created a lower low on the RSI yet. Although we could pull back to this trend line, the trajectory is still upwards. Can this sustain forever? Likely not. Just to be honest, the point is that we still haven't broken this bullish trend that we've been on yet. Can it break right now? Sure, it could. But until that happens, I mean, there still has to be some weight here that this trend could continue to the upside. Also, I'd like to look at the NVT. You guys know I've been covering this metric extensively, as with 100% accuracy throughout Bitcoin's history. The NVT, dating all the way back to 2012, has been pinpoint accurate in calling the macro tops and macro bottoms. And what we see right here, right now, is that we are in the red territory above 150 here for the NVT, which is signaling a sign of caution for me. Which is more bearish than bullish, but there is a bullish piece of sentiment to take out of this, in my opinion, and that bullish sentiment is that we have not broken our upward trending support line here on the NVT. And as we see here in the past, it's not really until these trend lines are broken, back-tested, rejected, that we get a failure and a decline deep down into the crypto abyss. So for me, ladies and gentlemen, this, even though it is a bearish indicator here being in the red, on a micro level, the fact that we have not broken the upward sloping support line is still bullish for me in the short term. Actually, as it stands right now, I believe that us holding this level, if we go into the 4-hour again right now, we can see that the price action, just even from the time I started recording today's analysis, we are already putting in what appears to be right now another bullish hammer here. And as we can see on our prior two candles, we put in a bullish hammer, we put in a neutral candle, and now we are looking for a second bullish hammer all around our old resistance level, which in turn, theoretically, should become new support. And if that is in fact the case, ladies and gentlemen, I see that this thing could have legs to continue to the upside. Although, when I believe that this thing is going to drop out, aka when the RSI winds up breaking this level, when the NVT winds up breaking that support level as well, I believe that the dump may in fact be incredibly vicious, ladies and gentlemen. And by vicious, I mean something that could really return us at least into this 4,600 to 4,500 area, if not even lower, to test the prior highs at around 4,400 to 4,200. I ultimately am under the belief that even if it takes months, that we are going to backtest this whole region right down here. I'll actually make this a nice box. We'll make it a pink rectangle here. Let's get this so we could see it. This pink rectangle, I believe this area will be backtested at some point in the future. When, I cannot put a time frame on it, but if we are going to get a massive correction in this market, which I believe we will, after potentially some more movement to the upside, for me, it would be a massive, vicious drop back down somewhere into that vicinity. And say we do test up, ladies and gentlemen, to the $6,000 region, right? Let's go to 6,000 flat, right around 6,000, and let's put our metric back into this box here. You can see that I believe a healthy correction would be in the ballpark of 30% plus to the downside. Heinous, savage, and a borderline debacle if you do in fact ask me. This will have many traders upset, ladies and gentlemen. If that is in fact to occur, many will be calling, "Oh, it's over, it was a trap, Kirby, a trap." And it may in fact have been a trap for those that aren't looking 2 steps ahead, because as we all know, Don Carbanaccio does not like to stay just 1 step ahead of every trader, bot, and algorithm in this market, ladies and gentlemen. Don Carbanaccio likes to stay 2 steps ahead of everybody else. And what I'm seeing right now is that there are 2 potential scenarios looming here. 1, that we consolidate at the region that we are at now. 2, we move to the upside and then ultimately plunge deep down into the crypto abyss after profit taking is took up in this green area. Now, I'd also like to dive in to some other metrics here, the Bitcoin dominance metric, and also I want to look at the US dollar, ladies and gentlemen, which played such an epic role throughout the 2016 and 2017 bull run. I believe it's a metric that's not really being looked at, and of course I want to share this with you all, as I believe looking at other sectors in the trading markets globally is definitely important into indicating the further speculative value of Bitcoin. But if you are just tuning in now, don't forget to moon up the likes, moon them up, smash those thumbs, click the subscribe button, tick the little bell. Let's get this crypto. Satoshi needs a new pair of shoes. And before I forget, ladies and gentlemen, I keep my VIPs updated with every single trade I make. Right now, I'm getting absolutely aggressive. My goal right now is to maximize what I can off of this run. This is the volatility that we've been waiting for. This is what I've been waiting for as a trader in this market. I see that there's going to be potential large rips up and down in here. This is not a chance that I'm looking to squander. I'm going to be trading it aggressively. So if you do want to see all of my trades in absolute real time while Average Joe and James at the water cooler take that trip to Rect City, I will be posting all of my trades for you exclusively in VIP, ladies and gentlemen. So I will see you in VIP right now. It's time to crush this market, and it's time to get this crypto. I will see you in VIP right now. Moving along here, guys, before we get into the US dollar and the confluence that I see there, I'd like to look at the Bitcoin dominance metric, and where we can see, or excuse me, rather what we can see here is that we are now getting closer to 55%. We are currently at a 54.8 at the time of recording. As we can clearly see here, Bitcoin dominance has been on a steady rise for the entire month of April 2019. Why this is interesting to me, ladies and gentlemen, is because the altcoin market is now taking a tumble. This is no coincidence, right? And the reason why is because many and most of the volume in this market for Bitcoin is margin volume, right? It's leveraged volume, right? And that's evident by the sources that we see here on who's doing volume, right? And we can see that the largest volume exchanges are leverage margin exchanges. So for me, when I'm seeing the Bitcoin dominance metric rise to levels that it has not been in quite some time, and the altcoins are dumping, what this means to me, ladies and gentlemen, is that the price of Bitcoin is about to get very, very volatile, as this is symbolic to me that traders in this market are seeing more opportunity in a margin trading pairs rather than spot altcoins, right? And the reason is that these spot altcoins, they're spot, right? So your leverage is essentially 1x, right? It's just what you have. Whereas when Bitcoin is extremely volatile, we tend to see Bitcoin dominance rise because Bitcoin is used for the leverage exchanges, right? To trade on margin. So for me right now, with this dominance metric rising and the altcoins bleeding off, I'm expecting that we are about to see even more volatility here than we have seen. And that is why I'm telling you guys, it's time to get this crypto. It's time to put the battle helmet on, the mud boots, and the trench coat. This is not a time to be fooling around, ladies and gentlemen. We're watching these metrics rise, rise, rise. We are at the boiling point right now. That is why I'm telling you that I will be keeping you updated in VIP with all of my trades in absolute real time. To the second that I make them, I post my plans, my strategies, my entries, my exits, my take profits. The time is now. I woke up this morning, looked at my watch, and guess what time it was, ladies and gentlemen? It was time to get this crypto. And that is, in fact, what I plan to do right now, ladies and gentlemen. So I will be keeping you up to date in real time with every single trade I make in VIP. I will see you in VIP right now. Let's move over to the US dollar. So I want to show you this. If you are subscribed here, if you've been a subscriber for quite some time, you would remember that I used to cover this frequently, and I haven't in a while, so I'm going to touch upon it today as the DXY is making new yearly highs as we speak. All right, so in 2017, guys, the end of 2016, then to all of 2017, the US dollar was directly inversed with the trend of Bitcoin. We had a parabolic downtrend on the US dollar and a parabolic uptrend on the price of Bitcoin. So general theory, ladies and gentlemen, is that when the world reserve currency, the US dollar, is plunging, investors are looking to find assets that produce yield rather than watching their US dollar depreciate in value, right? So Bitcoin became very attractive because it was a deflationary asset fighting against the falling US dollar. The altcoin market was going crazy, and we saw literally an inverse correlation here. Just the same that this dropped like this, we saw Bitcoin going up literally thousands of percents, right? Over 1,000%, even just from the height of the bubble. So what we've seen throughout 2018 in Bitcoin's bear market up until now has been exactly the opposite, right? When did Bitcoin stop, right? When did the euphoric Bitcoin and altcoin market conclude? That was in January 2018. And look what happened here in January 2018, ladies and gentlemen. The parabolic bear drop in the price of the US dollar concluded. It began to consolidate and has now began its parabolic rise to the upside. And as we can see here, these were just some generic resistance levels that I had drawn here, nothing more, nothing less. And what we can see is it's taken out all of the resistance levels, and as of today, right now, has even broken its prior double top high, or triple top high, wow, and has broken up and above. This is generally not bullish for anything, for assets, right? Because the point is that when the dollar is appreciating, and don't get me wrong, ladies and gentlemen, I understand that many of you are from different countries and wouldn't understand why I'm focusing on the US dollar. The US dollar is the world reserve currency. That is what global assets are traded in, right? Commodities, etc., are priced, generally in the US dollar. That is why it is the most important. If it was something else, if euro or yen was the world reserve currency, that is the chart I would be showing you. In this case, it is the US dollar. When the US dollar is rising, it's bearish for assets, right? As the dollar appreciating makes the assets theoretically worth less because your dollar is worth more. So you shouldn't have to give as many dollars for the asset that you're buying. Follow along? So the inverse correlations here with the 2018 bear market in crypto with the US dollar rising, you could see the correlation there, right? Dollar is dumping dramatically for an entire year. Bitcoin ripping dramatically for an entire year. Now dollar was rising dramatically for a year and Bitcoin was dumping dramatically for a year. And right now we've broken to this new high. And that is bullish, ladies and gentlemen. Just from a higher high standpoint, it's broken to a higher high out of its structure. That is, per classical technical analysis theory, very bullish. So for me, correlating the past history of the dollar in correlation to Bitcoin, this is also of concern for me here on the macro trend for Bitcoin, because if the dollar is going to continue to get stronger, I believe that this does in fact give more merit that this whole area between really 5,800 all the way to 6,500-ish, 7,000 if you really want to give it some legs. It's going to be very difficult to get past there, in my opinion, if the US dollar continues to soar higher and higher. It's just a correlation that I've seen has been very, very accurate, ladies and gentlemen. So if you have not been looking at the DXY, and following the movements there, I suggest that you do that as well, as it is something to monitor. Whereas Bitcoin is kind of a hedge against the debt, right? A hedge against currencies, inflation, etc. And if we're seeing the world reserve currency on an absolute tear, it is more difficult, in my opinion, and obviously from what I've seen here in terms of the correlation, it's more difficult for Bitcoin to thrive and prosper in an environment where it's being pushed against by an uptrend in the US dollar. Capiche? Ladies and gentlemen, if you are just tuning in now, don't forget to moon up the likes, moon them up, smash those thumbs, click the subscribe button, tick the little bell. Let's get this crypto. Satoshi needs a new pair of shoes. I hope that what I've covered here for you all today is very to the point. I see that if we are going to move higher, I believe this is the make or break point. If we drop below our support range here, our tentative support range of old resistance becoming new support, I believe we could be in for a very deep dive down into the crypto abyss anywhere in this target vicinity. If we are breaking to the downside, you best believe Don Carbonaccio will be keeping you up to date with my trades in absolute real time in VIP. If life-changing trading opportunity is presenting itself, ladies and gentlemen, I am looking to strike upon it like a cobra out of the grass. I do not like to miss out on life-changing trading opportunity if the opportunity does in fact arise. I will be taking aggressive trades, positions, entries, exits, etc. And I will be posting all of that for you exclusively in VIP. So I will see you in VIP right now. If we are to break to the upside, I believe I've outlined my targets here as much as I can for the short term. I'm keeping an eye on this box. If this box is having a tough time here, I also am going to be looking for shorting opportunity all throughout this range. I'm looking for long opportunity in this range as well if the green is going to become a target zone for me from a long perspective. Lots going on right now, ladies and gentlemen. I'm staring at these charts 24/7. Pedal to the metal with an eagle eye. I'm ready to crush this market, and I'm ready to get this crypto. Ladies and gentlemen, there are those that get crushed in this market, and there are those that prefer to be the one doing the crushing. I personally know that Don Carbonaccio is the one that prefers to do the crushing. It's time to crush this market. It's time to get this crypto. I will see you in VIP right now, and I will keep you updated with every single trade I make in absolute real time. It's time to crush this market. It's time to transform yourself from average Joe into savage Joe. Let's get this crypto. I will see you all in VIP right now. Shout out to my VIPs. If you could one last time, guys, moon the likes, moon them up, smash those thumbs, click the subscribe button, tick the little bell. Let's get this crypto. Satoshi needs a new pair of shoes. I'm fired up. I'm ready to go. I see big potential, huge, tremendous potential looming right here in our immediate future, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get this crypto. I will see you all in VIP right now. Shout out to my VIPs. I will see you in VIP right now. And until next time, my friends, be safe, be happy, be healthy. It's your boy, Crypto Kirby. Peace and love, my friends. Curbs.